So here we are in the Cape Romain Wildlife Refuge, and we have some good documentation for you this trip. Austin crawled inside of an alligator hole. We have some still images and some video from that. We saw tons of birds. We got some of that on camera. We crossed some marsh in the cold December water. That was an adventure. What else did we do?
To get some shots of a pelican.
And we did.
And we saw all these tracks of various animals. We saw a buck as soon as we get on the landing. That was awesome. And this raccoon comes up and checks us out too. And follow an alligator trail. Lots of alligator activity, actually, really surprising.
Lots of alligator activity and lots of good close-ups. We hope we got some good video documentation and hope you enjoy.
So Colin's trying to get a good shot of this bug. Really dark colored bug. Almost black along his ridge. He's looking right at us. That big 8-point rack. How long's this rack? Beautiful 8-pointer. Right at us. This rack. He didn't like us too much. The buck's still there.
We just had something new and exciting happen. We've been seeing bobcat tracks all along the road, the main road that we were on, and then also as we came down off this road that branches off it. Bobcat tracks here, bobcat tracks just in the tire tracks on each side of the road. And so we've been discussing how we need to come out early in the morning and wait next to one of these roads and see if we can get some bobcat traffic coming through. And as we rounded this bend, a bobcat was lying down right there in that scrub, and he jumped up and took off in the woods. And we just caught a flash of him, but then came up here expecting to find bobcat tracks, and sure enough, that's what we have right here. So our first bobcat sighting. First we had an 8-point buck welcome us here, and now the bobcats have given us their salutations as well. It's going to be a great trip. We came up on some egrets that are feeding here along the surface, and the reflection in the water is just beautiful, and I've been able to get some beautiful shots that I think sort of highlight the delicate, just spectacular appearance of these snowy egrets. And you can see them feeding along the surface there, and the reflection on that water just makes a beautiful backdrop, and that's what I'm working with now.
Intersection of all the habitat here, it's really interesting. We've got beach and salt marsh and salt mud flats, and then we've got open land, forest over there, and then right here we've got fresh water, fresh marsh and ducks and all that comes with that. So it's really an interesting group of landscapes all right here within a few feet of each other.
We're here with the beach roaring in the background, and it's really starting to cool down. It's going to be a cold night, but it's certainly off to a good start with this beautiful sunset looking over the mainland there. Pretty spectacular in person. So we had a great day hiking and lots of photography so far. We stopped on the beach here in the boneyard, and we are just doing some nighttime photography, some nightscapes with these trees, trying to capture the stars in the background. The stars are just out with a vengeance tonight. It's absolutely beautiful.
There's this awesome spindly tree. I wish you could see it right in the background, and it's right against the sky and the surf here. So maybe we can show you a shot.
Well, we were walking along this road here and we saw this interesting looking depression. So we came down, there were these tracks, and at first I thought it was this monster raccoon, but then we noticed this drag mark right along here, and this huge, for a raccoon, rear foot mark, and it's gotta be maybe a 5-foot alligator. So you can see rear foot, front foot, and tail drag. Then right over here we've got all these raccoons just pawing at this stuff, maybe looking for grubs or whatever, obviously trying to hunt for something. And then there are more alligator activity over here, just going apparently from that direction and into a pond right on the other side of the road. So let's see where they came from.
So we've continued to follow the alligator tracks and the raccoon tracks that Austin showed you back there. And here we have, it looks like 5 different species. Raccoon tracks, deer tracks, one large alligator. Austin has his hat down there as a size reference for that rear print. Possibly 2 alligators. Very prominent bobcat tracks, as well as some kind of wading bird has passed through here also. So it just makes us want to keep going and see what's back there, and it's a good reminder to walk softly, walk quietly, and keep our eyes open, because you never know what's going to be ahead.
Well, we've been following this for a little while now, and we had to backtrack because we lost the trail. But here you can see the alligator, well, the mud trail goes that way, but the alligator trail comes up here, cuts off through the brush here, weaves through all this, and right to there. Big old alligator hole. There it is. Really echoes. It goes back maybe 10 feet. Doesn't look like anybody's home, but looks can be deceiving.
We did some flash photography back there in the alligator hole, and we see absolutely no signs of life. So,
but I see kind of a turn up on the right, so I'm going to see if I can go down there and see what I can see, and Colin's going to yank me by my heels if I have any trouble.
That's right, so if I drop the camera, you know why. This is Alligator Hole Exploration 101.
That place on the right doesn't go very far.
Taught by Austin Fitzhenry.
And here it is. Never been in an alligator hole before. But this is what it looks like. Really echoey. Nice little pool down there. Spend the winter at. And a little bit freaky. Just wonder what's in that water, how deep it is. But a very, very awesome place. Not a bad home at all.
Austin is doing a backwards duck walk in the prone position. This could be an Olympic sport, I think. Truly is an art to it. And he does a perfect...
I don't think I really got dirty.
A perfect 10 landing.
Good stuff.
So the evidence of alligator activity has certainly far exceeded everything that we expected here for this time of the year, being early December. And we finally have a wonderful glimpse of an alligator out of the water. There's about a 5-footer basking behind me in the sun on the bank. And he's certainly not too anxious to move. There's also one in the water, but he submerged as we came up. So we're just enjoying the view of this little guy as he's staring right back at us. I've talked before in our shoots and our trips about how eye-level shots are so important. If you've seen the view from up on the berm through the camcorder, now look at him at eye level. It's so much more engaging. It makes for so much more of an interesting composition.
While we've been here next to this pond, we've heard some baby alligators cry, and this big alligator that might be a female, it's not too big to be a female, was sitting over there in the sun. And here's why we saw the little ones. It's a perfect little pond for a nursery, and you can see a great big nest. It's got this high ground next to the water to have a nice nest, and hatched eggs. Really cool stuff. You can see where the female, this would be mounded up, and the female, once the eggs started hatching and they started calling, would excavate and help them come out and help them get down to the water if necessary. But this is a really short run, and this hummus is just really rich stuff. And in the summertime, when it's still decomposing after she builds this back up, it would create heat from the decomposition and incubate those eggs perfectly. They know just how to do it. It's incredible. The alligator incubation time is actually determines the sex of the little babies. The warmer it is, the more females you get, I believe. But that happens in a number of different reptile species. Temperature determines the sex of the developing offspring. Really cool stuff. Well, we've seen about 6 eagles, bald eagles. Never seen so many out here. Bunches of alligators, dozens and dozens of ducks. We're on our way to try to get some good shots at the wildlife viewing area, the platform. That should be good. And I saw a raccoon out in broad daylight hunting in the marsh. It looked like it was picking up some dead fish that we've been seeing. No idea what's up with that.
It's been a fantastic trip so far, but in my opinion, the only thing that we're missing is some really good bird photography. So we need a really good bird photographer for that. And I'm the only one
and
here.
We've got the pro right here.
So we're going to try to get some good bird shots. That's what I'm going to focus on probably the rest of today, and then all of tomorrow as well.
But interesting thing on the birding, we've seen at least 2 birds that are just complete mystery birds. One that was pretty big bird, about that big, almost looked like a woodpecker, but really, really interesting coloration, variety of colors. We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, we did get documentation shots on all of those, and that'll probably be one of the first things I do when we get home is look these birds up and see what they are. So
always a mystery.
Mysteries
on a trip.
So Austin and I have spotted some heavy pelican activity on the other side of this island, and we think it's well worth it, photographically speaking, to try to cross over here and get some diving shots of these pelicans. So far we've only done flybys, and so we're hoping for a lot more. So we managed to get across the water without falling and without being bothered by the alligators. So we got, I guess, kind of worried when we saw the one on the bank and then several laydown areas. But as soon as we crossed here, we were talking about how we hadn't seen a pelican since we took the first step. And right behind us, a pelican dove, or right over my shoulder, a pelican dove and got him a meal and then flew off right across us. And I got some beautiful in-flight opportunities. And I mean, just that made it worth the mud and the cold, and hoping for a lot more shots just like that.